Hi leeches, welcome back to my channel. There's this general trend across the whole K-pop industry where idols are just getting announced as like spokesperson, model, face of blank brand really often. I've seen like pretty much every New Jeans member at this point being announced as something. I think maybe Hyein is the only one who hasn't. For this video specifically, I wanted to focus on which BTS member I think works for which brand. I think this is like a recent topic because there's a lot of Jungkook and Calvin Klein rumors. I believe what happened was two of like the higher ups at Calvin Klein ended up following Jungkook on Instagram, and because of that people are like thinking that they're going to collab, which I also kind of think that. I'll get into that more when I talk specifically about Jungkook. Let's start at the very beginning, which is BTS members which are already confirmed, and that would be Jimin and Yoongi. So Jimin is confirmed for Dior. I do feel like Jimin fits Dior well, but I wouldn't say it's like 100% match. The only other thing I know about like Dior's brand ambassadors is that Jisoo from Blackpink is also there, and I feel like she and Jimin like don't necessarily have the same vibe. Like out of BTS members, I would say Jin is more similar vibes to Jisoo, at least for me personally. So I thought Jimin was like a good choice, but also probably not what I would have done if I was just like literally in charge of everything and picking and matching for everybody. Obviously that's not gonna happen. I also think Jimin could go really well for brands like Chanel or Versace, like stuff that's very luxe and very showy. That's the type of vibe that he gives off for me. So that's Jimin. And then next is Yoongi, who was announced for Valentino. Honestly, I didn't think that Yoongi and Valentino would be a match. Like I just never put that together, but now that they said that and did that, I think it's the only thing that makes sense, and I'm like, yeah, I couldn't see Yoongi with any other brand at this point, so you know what, good. I'm so satisfied with that. Okay, and then the next category I think is like rumored collabs, like semi-confirmed type of stuff. So let's talk about J-Hope, Hobie. I believe he went to the fall fashion week show in Paris for Louis Vuitton. I feel like Louis Vuitton is a good fit for him. BTS as all seven also collabed with Louis Vuitton before, so I feel like from that you can kind of like suss out the vibes. And I feel like J-Hope like works well with them. I think other brands that match his personality would be anything that's very like fun and graphic. In my brain, he would work really well with Fendi or Moschino. Also, to go back to the point about Louis Vuitton, I remember Jungkook wearing this like black leather backpack that was like very big and like leather and strappy and had like the LV monogram logo on it. I'm gonna see if I can find the picture, but I feel like Jungkook sold that one item of LV so well. And since we're talking about Jungkook, let's return to the Calvin Klein situation. I honestly think that I can see it because I recall that Calvin Klein also did a collab with Blackpink Jennie. So honestly, like Jennie and JK probably at like similar levels of popularity, so it makes sense to me that Calvin Klein would really want him. I also think that it suits him well. For some reason, I think Jungkook has a very like youthful and mischievous type of energy. So to me, when you think about some of these other luxury brands that have a very like serious buttoned up type of image, it doesn't work so well. But for him, I think any of those like casual but you know younger, not so serious brands, like for example Calvin Klein, would be a good fit for him. I also need to mention that I know that BTS did a campaign with Fila, and I know that's like casual slash sportswear slash athleisure type. I also think Jungkook like really did well in that campaign, and it suited his personality too. I guess out of the fashion houses, the one that I could maybe see Jungkook working well in is Prada. For whatever reason, I feel like Prada is not that serious because they don't do like these handmade artisan leather goods that are all about like craftsmanship and stuff. Like Prada just seems a little more fun to me. They're more interested in like nylon and fur and zippers and straps, and it's not just like, oh, we just have like the most high quality leather things ever, which is like seems kind of old and boring. Personally, I love Prada for that like chunky leather nylon boot thing with the super thick sole, and I know that Jungkook is also a fan of those, so Honestly, yeah, I think out of all the high fashion brands, Prada would be a good fit for him. Okay, so in the next section, we have Taeyoung, Jin, and Namjoon. These are people where there's no, I don't think, any strong rumors of what brands they might go with. Maybe there are and I just haven't heard of it, but if that's true, comment and let me know. But let's start with Tae. So Tae is super associated with both Celine and Gucci in my mind, just because he used to wear like a lot of those, right? And then I think he also even went to the Celine show with Park Bo-gum and Blackpink Lisa. I remember that happening. So Celine, I think, definitely is a strong contender for Tae. And then Gucci, dude, I think he just fits Gucci vibe. Like Prince and stuff like that fit his personality, a little more like eccentric but also luxe. I feel like the personality and his like image really meshes well. Okay, so Jin, for me, I feel like he's very like a classy person. Nothing graphics, nothing streetwear. I know that Jin specifically was a big fan of like Tom Brown. I don't really think that's considered like high fashion or luxury fashion. That might just be like a designer label or something like that. But yeah, the very like preppy cardigan, cashmere type of thing. When I was thinking about Jin, I feel like any of those classic or luxe brands might fit him well. I could see him in like a Burberry campaign, or maybe even like Givenchy, or like Tom Ford or Armani. Honestly, Jin is like very versatile. Even though those four brands are very different, he could sell a campaign in any one of them. And then finally, let's talk about Namjoon. So I think he is the opposite of Jin, actually, in some ways, where Jin, I think, could fit a lot of high fashion concepts. I don't see Namjoon fitting the high fashion concepts as well, but any more streetwear or artistic or sculptural types of brands might speak to him more. Again, with the LV campaign, BTS was there when they had Virgil Abloh, who was like originally the creative director at Off-White. So there was definitely that kind of like streetwear influence there. But then Namjoon also strikes me as the kind of guy who likes sort of like ironic or things that make you think about society, like his whole obsession with art. So for some reason, I also feel like Balenciaga could be a good fit for him, more on like the artsier streetwear side. I don't think these are, again, like the same as high fashion luxury, but some designers that I think would work well would be like Loewe or Isabelle Marant or Comme des Garçons. I don't know if Comme des Garçons is still popular though. There's other houses that I thought of, but I didn't match them specifically to any member because I didn't feel like there was a strong fit. So I don't know, for example, who would fit YSL or Hermes or Dolce & Gabbana. I probably also missed a lot more brands that would be good for the BTS members. So please comment and let me know if you have any specific ideas for that or any predictions, especially on the members that were not announced yet, because I'm really curious. I feel like it almost feels like a waste to me to have a BTS member that's like not promoting a brand, because they already have this like established identity and style and like big career behind them. So I don't know, if I was them, I might as well use it. I might as well get a check from any brand that is willing to send me free stuff and money for promoting their super nice and expensive clothes. Please like, subscribe, let me know what you think. Bye.